Are live from Fly on the Wall Productions, Main Street in Barrie. Thanks for joining us on Facebook this morning. Maybe you're over on YouTube. We appreciate your eyes and ears, and we hope you're doing well. I'm J.D. Green. Right next to me is Paul Brody, who joined me, or I joined you yesterday. You're joining me now. I joined, is that right?
Yes, yesterday you joined me. Today I join you.
Yes.
We are
Last
joined.
night I was on your podcast.
Yeah.
Tell us about it. I mean, it was great.
I'm reading.
I know you're sitting there reading.
Yeah. When I'm done reading, I'll talk with you.
Oh, okay.
That was the arrangement.
All right. Don't forget.
I'll remember that as soon as I finish reading. I'll answer your questions. So
right.
you go ahead and do your thing, and I'll interrupt you.
Yeah,
when I
that's
need to.
fine.
I'm almost done.
There's a lot of stuff going on this weekend, and Raylene is posting up just a shit ton of stuff on our page. So keep watch, keep listen, so that you know what's going on this weekend. Don't forget, this coming Monday, we've got a pretty big announcement that we are just really excited about. I don't know what else to say.
So my podcast is called... I finished reading. It wasn't as impressive to me as it seems to have been to you.
Did you really read that whole thing?
I really did read that whole thing. It's been a few minutes already.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I have some thoughts on it.
All right.
But I mean, it doesn't. It's just whatever.
Well,
He's expressing an opinion, so it's not like
of course.
I have my. But yeah, I would discuss with him. It'd be interesting to discuss. I do agree with him on a lot of points, but I frame things a little bit differently than some of what he's saying.
Okay.
But yeah, okay.
So let's not talk about that.
No, let's not talk about that. There's so many things to talk about.
Yes. Tell us first about your podcast.
You sure you don't want to finish your thought?
No, I'm good. No, I'm good. I'm good.
So the podcast is called Just Saying Things,
and
it's a little less radio friendly, I guess, than what. Well, I don't know. You use the same kind of language and stuff.
Yeah.
So my friend Travis and I in 2020. So I guess we started the idea in 2019, but we started January 2020 was the first episode we recorded, and we sporadically recorded episodes throughout 2020, 2021, and then we didn't record anything in 2022, and then he wanted to get back to it. He felt like it was something he wanted to commit to and like accomplish something. He said he lets go of things too much. Like he doesn't keep up. He doesn't follow through on some things. Sure. And so he said, I want to make this something I follow through with. So I said, let's do it. And so we record every Thursday night. We don't do it live. We record it and then immediately post it. So it's not like live streamed, but it's posted immediately Thursday nights. And so we've been doing it every Thursday this year so far, 2023.
You started in January. Great.
Yeah. And so we've got a bunch of episodes up, but we talk about whatever. And it's called Just Saying Things because we used to just hang out in the hallways at the church when neither of us go there anymore, but when we'd just hang out and chat about stuff, and we're like, well, I don't know about anything of this, but this is what I think about it. And so we got this idea of just saying things. We're not experts. Yeah. We're not even researched in any way. And we just talk about something that's whatever's in the news or some topic that we're interested in. And we run the gamut of all the conspiracy stuff and current events and whatever.
It was a lot of fun.
It's fun. So you came down and joined us. And
we were talking about orange lights in the sky and the Russians and everything. It was fun.
Everything. Yeah.
It's fun.
And so recently we've been trying to be a little more structured with it and like have a theme and do some research. But we allow for whatever tangents come up.
All right.
But it's fun.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, so it's called Just Saying Things, and it's on, I think Spotify is the only place it's listed right now. We were using an app called Anchor, and then Anchor got acquisitioned by Spotify, or however that happened. Now it's called Spotify for Podcasters is the app, and so it was being distributed to like every podcast platform, but I don't know if Spotify is continuing that. I haven't looked into it too deeply, so I'm imagining it's not.
It's like the classic podcast studio up there in the penthouse on the Blanchard block. I mean, with the couch and the microphones. My God, it was
it's my counseling office, my recording studio. It's my podcast studio. It's whatever it needs to be.
It's fantastic, dude.
Yeah, it's a good spot.
And no cameras.
No cameras.
Yeah, which allowed me to freely pick my nose.
You were very free.
I was picking away.
If Travis and I were easily offended, that might have been the time for us to be that way, but neither of us are.
I'm going to check in with Jack this morning.
Oh, good.
See if we can get
him. Baseball opening day yesterday.
Yes.
Sweet.
I don't know if hopefully he's here. No. Jack. Jack, where are you? I don't think we have him.
I heard him for a second.
Yeah, I can hear him, but are you there, buddy? Hold on, Jack. Jack.
All of a sudden, I'm having flashbacks of Titanic.
Jack.
I haven't even seen that movie in 24 years or something.
Oh my God.
She's floating on the ice raft, screaming Jack. I guess it must have traumatized my brain somewhere in there, and then hearing your feminine voice shouting Jack in distress.
My feminine voice.
Is that what I said?
Jack, can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can, man.
I hear him.
We can. We got you, buddy. How are you, man?
I'm not too bad, you?
What's happening? Yesterday was opening day of Major League Baseball. There were several games going on. I know the Yankees was one of them, and the Red Sox were down at Fenway. It was a cold day, man, at Fenway. My God.
I know. That's actually the first time I believe that every team has been able to play a game on opening day.
Yeah, I mean, it was in the 30s, which has got to make for some difficult pitching. But day one for the Red Sox, and it didn't go well for them. I think it was 15. They gave up 15 hits and 10
runs.
10 runs, or 10 runs and like 9 walks.
Yeah, something insane like that. And yeah, they lost by 1.
Yeah, 10-9 the final to Baltimore.
They almost rallied in the 9th, but they scored 3 runs in the 8th and 2 in the 9th, but just couldn't get that last one.
I don't know, man. It all in all, it was not the greatest season opener for.
No. Also, horrible play by Kluber, who had a 13.50 ERA. I'm reading right here, which is just horrendous.
Wow. Yeah, and and the new rules which are in place now for Major League Baseball. There's a lot of people that have a lot of opinions about the pitch clock, and some of us are probably saying that we didn't really notice a huge difference in the game, and others, if you're paying attention and you're looking at total game time yesterday, you'll notice that it was a lot shorter. I mean, at least it's shaving off at least 30 minutes, it seems.
Yeah, I think on average it cut down on I think the total number was, what was it, 48 minutes?
Yeah.
I believe I read somewhere.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Was it what was it yesterday? 3 hours and 20 minutes or something like that? I can't remember.
I think it was just about that. And I mean, that also because the game, just because of so many hits and pitching changes and walks and errors, the game lasted even longer.
Yeah.
Do you have a picture of Jack that you can put on the screen? Because if you don't, I just created one.
Oh, thank you. Here, we'll put it
up
there. There it is, right there. Yep, perfect. That actually looks just like him.
So while you're talking,
wow.
I like on podcasts when they have a picture of the person who's on the phone. I just think it's important to have.
That it is.
So
I agree.
Yeah. Do you mind holding that up?
I'm going to keep holding it until my arm collapses.
All right. Yeah, please do.
Yeah. It's already shaking.
Jack, how did I honestly wasn't really completely paying attention to what was happening with the Yankees. Can you tell us anything about that game?
Yeah, well, both the starting pitchers played just horrendously. Again, Kluber with a 13.50 ERA, and then Orioles starting pitcher, what was his name? I can't think of it off the top of my head, but he finished with, I believe, a 7.5 ERA, but he still got the win. It was Gibson.
Yeah,
I believe his name's Kyle Gibson. Or no, I don't know if it's Kyle Gibson. I just know his last name was Gibson, and here he finished with a 7.2 ERA.
Yeah.
However, the Orioles, I have a weird stat here. I can actually read you. Listen to this.
Yeah.
So this is the first time in over 100 years that a catcher has had 5 hits and reaches base 6 times on opening day since at least 1901.
Wow.
So the Orioles have something to smile about if it's not their pitching.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What other games were played?
My favorite team, the Giants, took on the Yankees and got spanked 0-5. Just a tough game. Garrett Cole struck out 13 and posted a 0 ERA, which is just wow.
I'm gonna try and watch it myself.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of any. You have Paul there?
I do.
The Mets. You must be happy about the Mets. Last
Yeah,
night.
5-3. Mets won.
Yeah, and I mean 8 hits.
Yeah, all my dudes on the fantasy team are doing all right. Well, not all of them.
Yeah.
Several of them.
And I just want to point out the Marlins pitcher who you faced, Scott Tanner. He
Mhm.
posted a 54 ERA. If you know anything about baseball, you know that's probably the worst I've ever seen in a box stat.
So what, did he even record any outs? I didn't watch the game. I just checked the Mets box score. I didn't look at the Marlins pieces.
So let me take a peek at this real quick. 54 ERA is just outlandish.
Yeah, it is. But one game it's possible.
Yeah, he can turn it around for sure. But let's see. Yeah, he pitched 0.1 inning, gave up 2 hits, 2 earned runs, and 1 walk with 0 strikeouts.
Well,
Not your best day.
yeah. There. I mean, I saw a little bit buzzing around on the phone that fans were not overly enthused at the end of day one.
No, a lot of surprise results. I didn't even see this coming.
What else do you have, Jack?
Well, again, just a reminder, Final Four, for March Madness is
This
coming
weekend.
up. Yes, this Saturday, both games. We got Miami and taking on UConn tomorrow at 8:50.
Yes.
And we have Florida Atlantic taking on San Diego at 6:09. So, it should be some good games. I'm hoping to catch the Miami UConn one.
Jack, I want to thank you so much for helping me out with my NCAA bracket.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I'll when I'm in there next time, I'll be sure to put on some. I'll add the next round in.
Thank you, brother. And,
Yeah.
And when you get a chance, go back and rewatch this podcast so that you can see what you look like on camera.
Yeah, I'm curious. I'm gonna take a peek.
It's just from memory. It was a quick sketch.
It's very good.
Think of it like a caricature down at the boardwalk, but the person was
Oh.
begging you for money and weren't actually looking at you, and
It's outstanding.
you didn't even know
Like
that
a
they were drawing a
lineup.
picture of you.
Hey, Jack, have a kick-ass weekend, man.
You as well. Thank
and
you, JD.
Sherilyn's saying hi to you this
Hi,
morning.
Sherilyn.
So at some point, I'd love to have you two fools in here talking about football. And when I say football, I'm talking about soccer. And when I say soccer, I'm talking about football.
That's right.
Okay?
You know it.
Get it right.
Right.
You know,
right.
get it. We've all got it wrong over here.
Yeah.
Why are we
know.
calling it soccer?
Why are we calling it football? The what we call football. Why are we calling it football?
Why are we calling it football?
When does it ever touch your foot? Once.
Thank you.
The kickoff?
Thank you.
Is it because it's the shape of a
Somebody
foot?
is saying it.
It's the shape of a foot.
Why?
A weird
I guess we're uncultured.
foot.
What should we call it? Throw ball?
Throw ball, handball.
Thank you.
Yeah, quarterback ball. I don't know. Some kind of math terminology maybe, because they use a lot of math terminology in there.
Francine is saying that Jack is camera shy, so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Was that because the screen
Yeah.
turned off?
Yeah.
Oh.
Jack, we love you, pal.
Yeah,
Anyway.
thank you, JD.
We'll see you next week, right?
Bye, Jack.
Yeah.
Hey, when are you getting your
Bye,
wisdom?
Paul.
When are you getting the wisdom teeth out?
Oh, wait. Let me check. I have the calendar right next to me. April 13th.
April 13th.
All right, everybody, let's be there to rally around Jack and support him. When he walks
Yes,
out of the
I
building
want
without his teeth
everyone-
and he's all dazed and confused, let's clap for him and he'll get scared and run back inside.
I want everyone in the room with me when I get them removed.
Yeah, all right, we'll all go
My
together.
God. He's such a badass. Love this guy. Jack, good weekend, all right?
Yeah, you too, JD. Bye, Paul.
Don't go
Bye.
out. Hey, don't go out and have any parties and get arrested and stuff like that this weekend. Be good.
If
I'll
you do,
try
give me
not
a
to.
call.
All right.
That sounds good.
I'll do your counseling.
All right, sweet.
See you. Bye. He's such a good kid, man.
Yeah.
Such a great kid. We have clouds coming in with some wet snow this afternoon.
What?
Yeah, they're saying most of it won't be sticking, but higher elevations around 1,000 feet and higher slushy snow. And then that's going to switch to all rain tonight, right on into Saturday morning. And by midday Saturday, the sun comes out. Temperatures are going to be blasting into the, wait for it, try to contain yourself, Paul, please. 60s.
Yeah.
With thunderstorms
Oh, that's the best.
and lightning. So if you're going to be up on the ski lift on
I'm not.
Saturday,
But if I was.
you are.
Right, okay. I might be, yeah.
You are.
I was
okay?
thinking about it. Right.
I know that you were thinking about it. You are going to be on the ski lift. Be careful with the lightning up there.
I will be careful with the
okay?
lightning.
Please.
I will.
Sunday, we're going to go from 60s.
To 70?
We're going to go from 60s on Saturday, Paul, to 30s. Lower 30s for the daytime
30s, of
high
course.
on Sunday.
You know why this is happening?
What's going on?
I'm going to boil sap again. So a couple weeks ago, the day I chose to do that
Yeah.
was freezing cold. It was 20 degrees amongst days of 40s, and the next day it was 45, and it was beautiful. And then this time, I could do it on Saturday, but it's going to be raining. Temperature's going to be great, but it'll be raining.
Right.
And I don't have covered pans on my fire, so it won't work.
Understand.
So I got to do it Sunday, but that's going to be freezing cold again. But that's okay. I like being outside, so it's all right.
Has it been a good sap run?
I have no idea. I haven't been back up to check the buckets. I got a couple buckets of sap last weekend, and they're frozen, sitting in the snowbank.
It
Waiting for this week.
seems like it's
The weather, from my understanding, I don't know anything about this stuff. 3 years ago, I decided I was going to tap trees, and I did. So, but I've been to Goodrich's farm so many times, taking his tour. I kind of learned some things.
Are you going to get? Do you need any more equipment up there at Goodrich?
Huh? Do I need more equipment at Goodrich?
Yeah, like tubing equipment and stuff.
For him or for me?
No, for you.
No. Oh, no. I got 11 trees total. I have all this stuff. I just got to get some more of the little plastic taps. A bunch of them cracked last year when I was trying to take them out of the tree. I think it was bad.
You call me crazy, and
You are.
I know that, but it seems like it's been a wicked run so far.
I think this week, the weather-wise, because they say when it's warm enough, like 40 during the day and 20 at night, it's got to freeze overnight. I think I don't know what it is. I'm speculating, but I think it must be like after a certain number of hours in a row where it's above freezing, then the leaves start to pop, and then that's when the sap's no good anymore.
Yeah.
Because the trees absorb, because the tree needs the sugar
Right.
instead of us. But,
Right.
so it shares with us prior to that point, and so I think this week has been phenomenal for it. I don't know. I haven't been up to. It's up at my mom's house, just up the road in Berrytown.
Collins Maple Farm,
Mm-hmm.
Maple Direct. They've got some incredible videos on their Facebook page of the sap running.
Cool.
It's just so amazing. I love it. And you know what I love to do? And you have kids too.
Yeah.
I love to explain this to Lily about the sap and what we do when we boil it down and all that. It's just
That's what I got into it for. I wanted to
show your
experience
kids.
with my kids. We bought a starter kit, had a booklet for children explaining what the process was, and
It's great.
and some of them have gone with me at occasional times, but it's my oldest daughter went with me this year to put the taps in the trees, but she hasn't wanted to go back.
It's
'cause
fantastic.
boiling is too boring for them all.
Yeah.
But they like eating it. But so all these different syrup places, do you have a preference? 'Cause you've been around for a while. You've
You
tasted a lot of syrup.
I do. It's Brody's Sugar Farm.
Yeah, that's right.
Brody's Sugar Farm is, I mean, no bullshit. It's the best I've ever tasted. Ever. I have a small jar of your syrup that is on the counter. No touchy by anyone. Don't even look at it. And Sherilyn and Lily know that. It is so good that it is a sipping syrup. This is.
We should get those little bottles that do for shots and fill up a bunch of those, and we can sell them.
I mean, it's
Such as a limited run.
it's
Like a gallon a year.
it's unfiltered. I think
No,
there's
it's filtered.
Is there
I filter it.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Just go with me, pal. Say yes. It's unfiltered. Just go with it.
If you saw all the bugs in the buckets when I poured them in the pan,
So
you'd
here's the
want it
thing.
filtered.
I think I got a bug. I think I got a bug, which was the best tasting bug
Best
I've
bug
ever
ever.
had.
Yep.
I mean, just swallow it down.
Yep.
And even a little bit of ash in there.
Yeah, that
possibly a chunk of charcoal.
probably. Yeah. Right. Well, I burn it with cedar. It smells wonderful. It smells like a pencil.
Amazing.
It's fantastic.
Oh my God.
Do you have the speaker on still? I think I'm hearing myself
Yeah,
through the
you
microphone.
are.
There's a little bit of a buzz. There we go.
There's some whacked out shit that's going on in the world, pal.
Well, I want you to do a blind taste test of all the local syrups. I'm challenging everybody in
love to do
in all of this hemisphere. I'm challenging them to a blind taste test with JD as the sole judge.
Oh, please sign me up. One of the things that I was telling you on your podcast, and,
Yeah.
and I've talked about it here on Aired Out last night on your podcast, was that Moscow was supposed to be, having the courtesy to pick up the red phone and call the United States and say, hey, we just want to let you know that if we do any more missile testing, we'll call you for.
Yeah, so when did this all occurred this week? I didn't see any of this.
It was about a week ago, maybe even a little bit more.
So they were what kind of missile testing were they doing?
Just missiles.
ICBMs?
I don't know.
Just anything? Okay, they're just shooting things in the air.
They're shooting things in the air.
And what we expect a courtesy call from them?
They promised that they would give us a courtesy call ahead of time. And they keep forgetting. Now we've got Mark Hamill from Star Wars doing the voice. Paul, I'm not making this up. Doing the voice on a Ukrainian air raid, stay with me, app. Mm-hmm. There's an air raid app, Paul,
Right.
that you can have on your phone. So in the Ukraine, that says attention air raid alert, which is the voice of Mark Hamill.
Well, he has become a very popular voice actor. He voices the Joker in a Batman animated series, and I guess he's pretty well known for his voice acting since his Luke Skywalkering.
I'm going to play it.
All right.
You ready?
Yeah, this is just a warning. This is a test. This is not a real. I don't know. What do you got to get? You got to put a disclaimer on there.
If this were an actual test,
Yeah, right.
or an actual alert, an emergency.
For all of the aired out listeners in Ukraine,
yes,
this is not real.
right here it is.
Attention, air raid alert. Proceed to the nearest shelter. Don't be careless. Your overconfidence is your weakness.
Bring your droids.
Attention.
Watch out for TIE fighters.
The air alert is over. May the force be with you.
Oh, jeez. You're kidding me.
No, I am not kidding you.
You made that up. I still hear myself.
Paul, look
I'm
at
still
me.
hearing myself in the speaker here.
Well, I had to put that on. So you
Oh,
could
that was
hear it.
okay. All right, my bad.
Paul, look at me. I am not kidding you.
All right, I believe you.
May the force be with you.
And may the force be
That
with you.
is the end.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. How could I be kidding on something like this?
I don't know.
Paul, you cannot make this stuff up.
I don't know. It's like I understand that the app makes a lot of sense.
Understand.
Bombs are coming in. We got to alert people every way possible that we can. But when you hire Luke Skywalker, okay, I get that's fine too. He's a familiar voice, perhaps. He's a good voice actor. He has a pleasant voice. Okay, that's cool too. But we're talking about bombs are coming and they're going to blow up your house and your hospitals and your schools and your children and your grandmother are all about to get blown up in some ridiculous war. May the force be with you. I don't know.
Is that the do you listen? I'm trying to be somewhat professional here.
Right. You're doing great with all of your this stuff. I think I'm on the screen. You're not, but you're really selling it.
I'm
to
trying.
nobody.
I'm trying to. This is
To
me,
me, I guess.
trying to contain myself.
You're doing all right. Oh, we need to talk about that. Let's put a pin in that. Contain yourself. Let's talk
All right,
about that in a minute.
But Paul,
Yeah.
is that the last thing that you want to hear? If you were to be bombed
Mm-hmm.
and possibly perish, the last thing you want to hear in your life
Depends.
is Mark Hamill's voice saying, "May the Force be with you."
Well, if you're a Jedi, then yes. If you're a Sith, then absolutely not. I don't know. I don't care about anything. I'm not attached to any outcomes or anything like that. But to me, it's like, I mean, this stuff is real. People are dying. I think that there is some kind of theater going on behind. Like, I honestly do. I honestly believe that the countries, just like in 1984. I get it. That's fiction, but what if it's not? No, but like, I think the countries are in some kind of collusion about this stuff, and I think that there are wars, and they kill people to push these agendas around and stuff. But they're actually killing real people. But it is theater. It's the theater of war. There are bad actors, and this is a good actor playing his role in it. And but I don't know. It's just something about it feels too disrespectful or something.
It's far beyond
But
cheesy.
I don't take offense at it, but it doesn't seem like, I'm not, appropriate is such a subjective term, but like this
Right.
seems like it's like,
Don't be
Come on.
careless. Your overconfidence is your weakness. I'm going to play it again.
yeah, that's a line right out of the movie, right?
Yeah.
So Yoda, say it backwards, it's Yoda.
Again, if you're just joining us, this is an actual app that you can have on your phone if you live in the Ukraine, where if there's an air raid with the Russians that are bombing, that you get this alert on your phone with the voice of Mark Hamill from Star Wars. Here it is.
Attention, air raid alert. Proceed to the nearest shelter. Don't be careless. Your overconfidence is your weakness. Attention, the air alert is over. May the Force be with you.
I wonder what kind of press they're getting on this.
So did it just barely come out? This thing is pretty new.
Like 2 days ago.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't see anything about it. I guess I've been busy.
You know what I really wanted to talk with Travis about last night, and I completely forgot. And I was driving home, and I said, "Oh my God, I dropped the ball. I forgot. I wanted to try and scare Travis about the giant, stinky seaweed blob that is headed to Florida. This giant mass that's floating out in the Atlantic." 5,000 miles wide. And it's expected to reach the Gulf of Mexico this summer.
You know how big America is?
5,000 miles wide.
I think it's 3,000 miles from here to California.
Right.
So we're talking
4,000 tops.
All right.
Tops.
What, from here to California?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So we're talking a massive seaweed that is at least as wide as the United States of America.
At the absolute
continental
least.
U.S.
Yes. The
The
absolute
lower
least.
48s. And it's going to pack into the Gulf of Mexico, which is not the width of America. So we're going to have a solid pack of seaweed. And then you can walk. You can walk from
Walk over to
Louisiana
Texas.
down to Brazil or whatever's on top of Brazil. Is Brazil bordering the Gulf of Mexico? I'm not sure.
I don't know. But I'm going to ask you a question.
Ask me a question.
Okay, and I'm going to ask you one time.
And I'm going to answer it one time.
What in the hell is going to happen when this giant seaweed blob is sitting in the Gulf of Mexico and a fucking hurricane comes right up into the Gulf?
Swamp Thing.
What's going to happen?
Swamp Thing. I answered it twice. Sorry.
Yeah, please don't.
Third time. Swamp Thing.
Oh.
I just wanted to make sure that you got it. Swamp Thing.
What is going to happen? Will the seaweed kill the hurricane? Will the hurricane lift the seaweed and dump it 5,000 miles wide onto the United States?
Yeah.
Which is going to go from Maine all the way to California.
Yep.
We are going to be under seaweed right here.
Undersea weed. Yeah. Yeah, right here.
What's going to happen if this? It says right here, it's expected to reach the Gulf of Mexico this summer.
This is what all of our children have been training for. Have you read Ender's Game?
No.
Okay, Ender's Game, 1980s. I want to say it came out. The concept is futuristic society where you're only allowed to have one child per family, two sometimes if the child has certain genetic traits.
Okay.
This one family had 3. Ender is a third. He's a third child, totally unheard of. But he's got their family have these genetic traits that they're trying to find, and they're bringing these children up into the space station, and they're training them in these games. They're teaching them how to be fighter pilots or something like that in the Space Wars, kind of like Mark Hamill did in that movie.
Okay.
What was it called?
Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's called Star Wars.
And so, but they're training the kids, and spoiler alerts. I'm just going to tell the story. I don't care. The outcome is that so they're training the kids, and the kids think that they're doing simulations and they're playing video games, but they're actually fighting. They're using drones to fight an alien race, and so they're actually fighting. And so this kid Ender has got the qualities they're looking for. He's supposed to be super good at this stuff. He's got some kind of psychic link or something like that. But my point, the relevance here is that they were training these kids on video games, or they thought they were on video games, to actually perform a task. So all of the children today are playing Minecraft. You know what you can do in Minecraft? You can harvest this seaweed, or kelp. You harvest the kelp, and you dry it in your kiln, and then you can make it into a block, and then you can use that block for fuel.
That's fascinating.
So 5,000 miles worth of seaweed is going to spread across the U.S. All of the kids are going to go Minecraft IRL, which stands for in real life, in case you don't know. And they're all going to run out of the houses, and they're going to gather up all this kelp, seaweed. You just tell them it's kelp. And they're all going to gather it all up, and they're going to put it in their furnaces that they made out of blocks that they found by punching stones. They built these furnaces, right? Because that's how it works. And they're going to do this in real life, and they're going to gather up all the seaweed and turn it into fuel.
I say, before we start burning this stuff, can we just stop and think about whether or not we should be eating it?
Oh, you can eat it, yeah, sure. I've bought seaweed before.
It's expensive. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
It's expensive.
Yeah. This is manna from heaven.
You can buy the seaweed chips.
Yeah, that's what
at Price
purchased
Chopper.
those before, yep.
They're expensive.
Yeah. They're not bad. They're not great. Not bad.
Go ahead.
Or before we finish that topic, so can the seaweed mass block a hurricane?
Yeah.
That's really, really fascinating to think about.
Well, because it's a hard-packed surface like
land.
Yeah,
absolutely. So what if it does? What if the biggest hurricane is brewing this year, and it's going to come and destroy everything, but that seaweed is put there? See, I think the Earth is alive.
Francine says that would be historical.
If it blocked the hurricane?
Well, if it killed the hurricane.
Yeah,
of course
wouldn't it be amazing?
It would be incredible.
Well, see, and I think that the Earth is alive. And the Earth is going to take care of itself. We can try all we want to. I don't think we should. I think we should be wise stewards and responsible with everything. But if we want to try to destroy the Earth, I don't think we can. I think the Earth will destroy us. We can't destroy the Earth. And so what if this is the Earth? This is part of the balance. The Earth does this kind of stuff. You got to have forest fire sometimes for new growth. And so there are things that the Earth is going to do, and we can't. I don't know. It's not. We got to learn. We got to learn how to live in harmony with it. But so we can freak out. We could pull all this seaweed out. But what if we do, and then this massive hurricane comes through and kills everything? What if the seaweed is there to protect, and the Earth is trying to protect us? But it could be the other way around too. Like you said, the hurricane could pick up all the seaweed and drop tons and tons of seaweed on people and crush everything.
Right.
And that could also be extremely devastating. So
it's a good movie.
Fantastic. Both would be a great movie.
You should write this down.
Yeah. Like a clue at the end, it says that's how it happened. Or is it? And then it goes to an alternate ending. We could do that with the seaweed movie.
Why did we forget to talk about this with Travis? Shame on both of us.
Yeah,
frankly.
really shame on me because I wasn't aware of this topic in my mind. I had no plan to talk about it, so shame on me the most.
Can you call Travis immediately after the show?
Yeah, I'll send him a text message. He does have a job. He has a day job where he's expected to do things. You and I are kind of free roamers.
This has been a really far out week here. Okay, I'm just going to say this, not to be weird, but every Saturday and Sunday, I have almost an anticipatory stress, or maybe not necessarily a stress, but a feeling of just a pinch of anxiety on Saturdays and Sundays, of saying, I'm looking in the rearview mirror at this past week. My God, what could possibly happen this coming week? Because the stuff that's coming down the pipe, that's coming down in the news, that's landing in our hands, in our cell phones, it's unbelievable. Yesterday, the news breaking that Trump is going to be indicted.
Oh, that's old news. That was a couple days ago.
Yeah, but now
He was supposed to get arrested on Tuesday. Or was that last
now
week?
they're saying
No, it was this week,
they're
right?
saying that next week will be his surrender week.
Sure. We'll see.
This would be historical.
Would be.
Would be.
Yeah, and what else is going on?
On
Banks collapsing,
and on
all
correct.
kinds of stuff going
Correct.
on. So
And
having
on
a Trump story takes
on
away
many-
from a lot of other things. That's
many
cool.
levels, it already is historical. Russia just arrested a U.S. reporter on espionage charges. First time that's happened since the Cold War. Did you read about that?
No, I didn't see that one either.
My God.
I've been busy
We have-
enjoying my life, so I haven't caught up on the news
There's
recently.
been just some really whacked out stuff. We had a lot of sad news. We had 9 killed in a U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter crash in Kentucky. We had the Nashville school shooting on Monday. It has been just a far out week.
And you can focus your energy on whatever you want to, because there's 8 billion people around us. Earth is home to 8 billion people. Not to take away from the tragedy of any one life, but there are 8 billion of us.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we should have less or more or anything like that. I'm just saying that, to put this into perspective. These are
Right.
the stories that get presented to us. Why? Because these are the stories that sell airtime, that sell advertising time through the whole pandemic. Every news story talking about vaccines, all this stuff, brought to you by, guess? Any guess? Any guess? The United States government is mandating that you get this vaccine. Brought to you by
Metamucil.
Pfizer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
this
well,
is the world we live in. So any of these stories come up. Yes, these are tragedies that happen. There's also a lot of really great things that are happening. I'm sure there must be, right?
How do you think this Starbucks case is likely to play
What
out?
Starbucks case?
The clash with Bernie Sanders and Howard Schultz from Starbucks.
Oh, is that who Schultz is? I watched a clip on some Forbes or something
We had it
website.
on Aired Out too.
Did you?
Yeah, this
Yeah,
guy,
it's
Schultz is a billionaire,
Yeah,
and he
then,
insists that he's no union buster.
and then the senator was asking Bernie's like, why are CEOs evil, but a author who's a millionaire not
Yeah.
evil? And he says, you're worth $8 million. And Sanders was, I'd like to know about that. 'Cause I looked it up. He's
Did you
estimated at less than $3 million, but everybody's always saying he's worth $8 million. So I guess there's some misinformation there. But
This hearing was for the history books. Did you get a chance to?
all I watched was a clip of the one guy calling out Sanders.
You got to watch the rest of it.
Yeah, I don't want to.
you got.
I don't want to.
Paul.
I'm not going to.
Paul, you're going to do it.
I'm not.
You're going to do it.
I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. No, I think it is interesting to watch Sanders though, as he's making all kinds of money off his book, talking about how bad capitalism is. It's like you're using this process to sell your book about how bad the process is. That's great. You can play the games. If you can play the games and make it benefit you, fantastic. Just don't hurt anybody in the process. And he's not hurting anybody by writing a book like that. But
It brings up the question though: what rights do employees have to form a union? And does management have any legal rights to stop one?
every human being has the rights to do whatever they want to do. That's it. And then you have these social arrangements, social contracts that say that certain people can do things to other people against their
Right.
will. If it harms, if this action benefits the greater good, then we can impose on somebody. If if an individual or a group's actions are imposing on others, then we can impose harder on them. And so we've entered into this social contract on purpose or not, or like with complicit or whatever. We either knowingly do it or it's just because we're born here that we're part of this social contract that we're going to give up certain freedoms in order to have certain protections. And that's what happens. And so when you go to work for somebody, I mean, how much do you want to legislate these protections, and how much of it should be legislated? Who gets to make these decisions? And
well, the number of labor strikes has skyrocketed in the last couple of years. And I just wonder if this is going to continue, and if this is going to be, just a red hot trend.
Yeah.
Now.
Well, of course, it's
kind of already is.
I don't think people want to be abused, and so hopefully people are coming around and saying, you know what, we're not going to be abused anymore. Let's strike.
Yeah, right.
I'm all for that. If watch throughout these last couple of years when the grocery prices started rising. Saw this interview with a grocery store owner. He's got some big chain. He's a billionaire.
You're right.
And he's standing there going, well, the costs are up. We're gonna have to raise the prices.
Right.
On the groceries.
Right.
And sure, it's his business. He can do whatever he wants with it. Sure. I'm all for that. I'm all for businesses. We reserve the right to refuse service to anybody. I'm all for that.
Yeah.
If you do that and you refuse service to somebody on some arbitrary or superficial, whatever basis, that's the word, I guess. Do that publicly. Do that. Most people aren't going to use your services anymore. They're not going to come to you if you come out and you're racist, sexist, whatever. People aren't going to say, oh, that's the guy I want to buy my sandwich from. So if you want to be that way, go ahead. That's free market. So I think people should be able to do whatever they want. So if the guy wants to charge $80 for a gallon of milk, that's his prerogative.
Yeah.
We don't buy it from him. But the problem is all of us are so dependent on the system now. That if I feel like I need this food product and everyone's selling it for more than I can pay for it, and I can't generate it on my own, that's the problem. During the Great Depression, there was a larger percentage of American families had farms and could at least grow some of their own food.
Sure.
And I don't know what the numbers are anymore, but the numbers, it's in the probably double digits numbers, and now it's probably less than 1% or something like that. It's just the dramatic change in how much independence people had 100 years ago compared to now. And so now we've gotten into this through social contract and all this stuff. We've gotten into this situation where we're incredibly dependent on services. And so when that grocery store guy goes, it's been tough. It's been a real tough year, so we're going to have to raise the prices. He's a billionaire. So at what point does he have an obligation? I don't know. I'm not going to say he has an obligation to share his money, but if he's an honest person, if he's okay inside, let's go back to Michael Singer, what we were talking about last week, or whatever it was. If he's okay inside, he's not seeking to take anymore. He's seeking to give. And so if he's okay inside, he goes, you know what? I don't need anything to be okay. I'm already okay. I don't need to accumulate any more wealth. I don't need to accumulate any more control over anything.
Singer says that anyone who needs something is
not okay. Yeah, is a taker. Is a taker. If someone feels I'm not okay, and I need this to be okay. If you say I need this to be okay, you're a taker. And he said when you decide that you're okay without it, then you're no longer a taker. You're a giver, and that's all that has to happen. And we can't compel people to do that though. We can't impose on people we can't force them into that.
Sure.
We each individually need to say I'm okay. I'm no longer going to take. I'm now going to give. And so if that grocery store guy decided he's okay inside, I'll now give. He could say, I made a lot of billions of dollars. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to raise all of my, and I don't know how many employees he has. I mean, maybe he's got a million employees and he raises them all $1 an hour and then he's broke, right? So I get it. There's some balance in this, but I don't know. So I'm speculating. I'm assuming I shouldn't be doing this, whatever. But maybe someone else out there who knows something and they can think about it and they can figure it out. I don't know. That's why I like to bring up things. So I don't know the answers to things. I've been in the past. People are like, you point out all the problems. We don't have any answers. What are the answers? I don't know them. I'm not. But if I bring it up and someone else might know it, so I think it's worthwhile to talk about.
Starbucks currently has just under 140,000 employees. And that's based on the latest numbers from 2021.
So I think there's some wiggle room where a lot of these Bezos and Musk and Gates and these types that they can rearrange their profits a little bit and increase their wages for their employees and decrease the cost of their products. They don't have to.
Yeah.
They don't have to. It's their business. They can sell it for whatever they want to. I can sell you a jar of my syrup for $400 for a quart, and that's my. No one's gonna buy that. But I can sell it for that if I want to.
Yeah.
The problem is when you've got, and that's the issue with, again, with social contracts, we don't have these monopolies where you've got such a huge control of the market where you can charge whatever you want to, and there's no one else that can provide that service for any less.
No,
and that's a problem.
Great.
But again, if you've got people who are just looking to take, and everybody's looking to take.
Yeah. I want to read something here that I saw, and I said, I want to read this with Paul. Congress is moving toward doing something it hasn't done since the Vietnam War. And I don't know if you saw any of this, if you read any of this. They're basically repealing authorizations for the president's use of military force. And for lawmakers, this is huge. This is huge. The Senate voted 66-30 on Wednesday. And this is one of the stories, Paul, that I don't think, I think it was brushed over. I don't think it got enough attention last week to repeal the 2002 resolution giving George W. Bush the green light to invade Iraq. That's an authorization that a lot of people are now seeing as a mistake. This would also repeal the 1991 resolution authorizing the U.S. military's combat action against Saddam Hussein and his invasion of Kuwait. Story says that approval by the House, which is less certain, would officially end congressional approval for the U.S. war in Iraq and symbolically at least close the U.S.-led war itself. Close the book on it.
Yeah, so symbolically, right? But
It's over.
right. How many years after it's been over? It's been over for a long time, hasn't it?
2002 was
when did
the
when
resolution.
did we withdraw troops from Iraq? It's been a while, hasn't it?
What was that, 08, 09? I can't remember. I honestly, shame on me. I can't remember.
How are you supposed to remember all this stuff? They
Well,
flood us with these
know,
things. You can't remember all of it.
I don't know.
How many atrocities from one government can you remember?
Maybe Michael will know. Michael's saying there's going to be zombies and creepers in the seaweed.
This is Minecraft.
Because if there are, it may not be worth harvesting.
Yeah, that's a reference back to the Minecraft in real life element. Minecraft has
What the hell's wrong
creatures
with you
called
guys?
zombies and creepers. Creepers are some kind of. I think it was a failed pig in the game. It was originally supposed to look like it was supposed to be a pig. It was some kind of other animal, and then they couldn't get the coding right or something,
right.
and this came out with this. It's just a green, armless thing that walks around, and it gets too close to you. It has gunpowder inside of it. It explodes.
Okay.
So the creeper gets too close to you, he blows up, and you die, unless you've got good armor.
All right.
Minecraft's a lot of fun.
Not familiar with it. Michael also wants me to remind you that the cast and the crew of Everything Everywhere All at Once got the award for Best Picture at the Oscars.
That's great. He wants me to like this movie.
Why haven't you seen it?
I don't know. I looked after he
See,
recommended it to
This is
me.
your cue to ask me if I've seen it. That was your cue.
Oh, I'm not good at I'm not good at social
You're
cues.
supposed to ask me. Well, have you seen it?
Have you seen it?
No.
All right. Well, because Michael had mentioned it when he was here, and we were all here. All three
Yeah.
of us were here, having a great time. He said, "Have you seen this movie?" And I said, "No, I don't know anything about it." So I went and I looked it up, and I said, "No, this does not interest me a whole lot." And
It
so
doesn't?
no, and so now he's
I
telling me I
watched
should have watched it.
I watched the trailer on it, and I was like, okay, yeah, all right. I wasn't into it either.
Yeah, I watched the
Sorry, Michael.
I watched the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness,
Yeah.
and that was not appealing to me in any way. And so this is along those same lines. I don't know. I'm open to the possibility of multiverse and dimensions and portals and traveling through and all this stuff. I'm open to that because I don't know. I would love to learn more about that, but
Yeah.
I don't know the Hollywood movie stuff. It's not that part of it's not interesting to me.
What do you what do you think about and I don't know, maybe this is a scare tactic, but it was a story that surfaced a couple of weeks ago about Facebook and Instagram and Twitter all rolling out fees so that if you want to keep your
Please roll out a fee. Then The only reason I'm on Facebook is because of Messenger. Messenger has proven useful to me as a communication tool.
Right.
And I think that if I delete Facebook, I won't have Messenger anymore. I have no interest in Facebook.
Okay.
I've been off it for most of the last 15 years, 10 years, whatever. I don't know.
social-
I loved it when it first came out. It was fantastic.
But we've had social media as a free entity, and now we may have subscription fees.
Well, it's just like everything else, right? We had broadcast TV as a free entity, and it was paid for by commercials. And then you had cable TV, which was supposed to be a paid-for, no commercial, commercial-free zone because you're already paying for it.
Yep.
But how long did that last?
Yep.
You know, I noticed that when I was in college, I bought the MLB TV subscription so I could watch the Mets play on through the internet, and I was paying for it, and it was commercial-free.
Yep.
During the commercial breaks, it would just say commercial break in progress. And then after a couple of years, they started showing commercials. I'm still paying for it.
Yes.
It's a premium subscription. And then the same thing happened with Hulu and Netflix and all these places. They're all pitching the idea of, let's have commercials. You're already paying for it. I mean, the whole point of paying for it was that you didn't have commercials in between.
Yeah.
But now you can pay more for the commercial-free version versus whatever. And I get it. It's expensive to host servers and all this stuff, and you got millions of users, sure, but I don't know. There's a lot of money revenue.
We've taken this information highway in many ways for granted, right?
I don't know. I'm taking it for granted.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know.
I think we have.
Maybe people get
Maybe
things for free and they don't want to pay for it, but nothing's free. Nothing. It was never free in the first place. That's the thing you got to think about.
Yeah,
Facebook
right.
was never free. It was never free. They've been harvesting your information. Yeah. Verizon harvests my information. They sell my name and my phone number and stuff to companies who then spam call me all the time. And this is what they do. So it was never free. Interesting. I like conspiracy stuff, right?
What a concept.
And you think about the last couple of years, some of the stuff that the so-called conspiracy theorists have been saying, kind of proven true. So interesting, right? But let's look back to when Facebook originated. The DoD, I think it was the DoD, had a plan to create a social media platform that had tracked everybody's information that people would provide for it. And it was like within weeks, Facebook came out.
Yeah.
Big coincidence. Maybe just a coincidence. Who knows? But
you think there's any kind of
all right. So everyone says that China is tracking all of the information through TikTok, right?
Yes. Did you
don't
see
think
that
America's
exchange?
Yeah, I saw some of that too. Yeah.
Whoa.
But you don't think America's tracking any information through Facebook? I mean, look at Twitter with the Twitter files released.
Sure.
Once Musk bought it and he starts releasing information about how there were meetings between Twitter officials and the FBI regarding the Hunter Biden laptop story cover up.
Right.
So it's there. It's proven fact that Twitter conspired with the FBI to cover up a story that would make a candidate look bad.
We understand.
So TikTok controlling American information,
and we're being listened to right now. From
absolutely.
From Mark. He's just,
but he tunes in because he's a fan.
In addition to that, he's just making sure that anytime we say words like, here's the buzzword, government, that sends off a flag. Yeah, and they're making sure that we're not
right.
Words like conspiracy.
Well, and when you had Rick Barnett on, and I joined you by phone, and
they shut
you down because we said certain words about natural plants.
Yes,
they didn't like that. Facebook had a problem with that, so they are listening.
Here's another buzzword. We said psychedelic mushrooms,
research purposes only.
And they didn't like that. Do you think there's any conspiracy theory about the price of eggs? And I ask you that because now we have Dollar Tree, and this was in the news, saying that they can't afford to sell eggs because of inflation now and the soaring prices. Lisa France just tweeted that we're going to have to start painting potatoes for Easter. We can't afford eggs anymore. Yeah. Price of the chickens and the feed and the grain and the moving and the trucks and conspiracy theory? Don't know.
Well, I don't know. I mean, conspiracy theory was a term created by the CIA to discredit anyone who was questioning the United States government. So, whatever. But are there people conspiring to raise prices? But I don't know. So one of the reasons is a massive bird flu last year wiped out huge numbers of flocks. Yep. So Did Bill Gates infect those chickens, or was it natural? If it naturally occurred, well, there's no conspiracy. There's no conspiring between bad actors. It just happened. And that's possible. There's also been a high number of food processing plants last year had disasters and burned down mysteriously. That's the conspiracy.
Sure.
But did that affect the chicken feed and stuff like that?
Right.
Then the gas prices have been up because of the United States of America allegedly blowing up the Nord Stream pipeline.
Thank you for saying allegedly.
Allegedly. I got to take down from Russell Brand. He's got that. It's so good. He's talking about, he says things, and then he cuts to this little clip of him going, allegedly. It's just brilliant. But there's been a lot of information that suggests that certain officials in the United States government have said, we will not let that pipeline exist.
Yes.
And then it blows up mysteriously, and everyone's like, "Oh, who did it? What happened? Oh, Russia must have done it. Russia blew up their own pipeline."
Yes.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But so Russia invades Ukraine, and all of a sudden, Putin's gas price hike and all this stuff. Putin's gas price hike, it's been going up ever since you took office, Joe.
Yeah.
Ever since you took office, the price has been going up. I'm not saying it's Joe Biden's fault. He doesn't do anything. He's a figurehead.
Right.
But ever since that point, the price is climbing.
Sure.
And then the war, and it jumps up a lot higher. But it's just a good excuse. There's the Overton window. Whenever they want you to they want to charge more money. So eggs were $3 a dozen, right? It went up to $7 a dozen. Now it's settled back down to $5 a dozen, roughly. I don't know the exact numbers. The Overton window suggests that we want to charge $5 per dozen per eggs, right?
Yes.
But we're charging $3. People are going to freak out if we raise it up to $5. So what do? We raise it up to $7. People freak out,
right?
Obviously,
sure.
But they say, bring the prices down. This is too much for eggs. So we bring it back down. We bring it down $2 to $5.
Right.
And everyone's like, oh, man, wow, that's a relief. $7 a dozen. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Don't you remember 2 weeks ago we were paying $3 a dozen? And so that's the Overton window. If we go to a super extreme, we can bring it back and we can get what we want.
Right.
When you're negotiating with a car salesman, you're like, I want to get $5,000 for my trade-in. You really think, okay, maybe I can get $4 from him.
Sure.
But you say $5.
Sure.
Because he's going to bring you down.
Right.
And he's going to say $35. I could do $35. I can't do $5. That's crazy.
Right.
And you say, all right, well, we'll have $45. And he says, $4? I'll do $4. And you're like, okay. And that's what you wanted, but you said $5 to start out the negotiations, right? So we all do this. We're all aware of this.
Right.
But that's what's going on. Maybe I'm not saying that's what's going on with eggs. I'm not saying that, but
you're saying
could
maybe.
It could be. But they use that same kind of idea. Like they did it with the gas prices. The gas prices went up to $5 a gallon last spring, and then it came to, so it was like $2.30 something.
Yeah.
In February, then it went up to $3.30 something.
Right.
In the next month, and it was up to $5 by June, and then it went back down to $3.
Yeah.
And so they're like, we brought gas prices down by this percentage this year. And I said, yeah, but you brought it up by this percentage. We're still paying more than we were before.
Chuck is saying you're so worried about the prices. How about worrying about lack of food that this country is wasting? If you're starving this country, you're just lazy. I think I know what he's trying to say. It's
what I'm saying. We're also dependent on the system. If we were actually producing our own food,
right?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie here. Every February, March, Sherilyn says to me, "This is where I'm going to get myself in trouble." Well, the prices of eggs are so high. I think maybe we should just talk about getting some baby chicks.
I thought she was from England, not Milwaukee.
She is.
Oh, you got a strange accent there.
They're good for the ticks.
Mm-hmm.
They keep the ticks out of the yard and the prices of the eggs. And, eggs are going to be $10 a dozen pretty soon. So now we have 3 baby chicks living in my kitchen.
Cool.
Under the goddamn heat lamps. Mm-hmm. And my kitchen just smells so wonderful right now.
And that's what you want in the place where you prepare your food. Heavenly.
Just breathe in the chicken shit.
Nah, it's expensive.
I can almost taste it in my fucking coffee.
But this is independence. I mean, you're working towards independence, and that's fantastic. I'd like to do it, but I'm just too lazy to start. I mean, lazy could be. I hate to say, oh, I'm lazy, but yeah, there's an element of that. I don't want to go through the effort of it, so I'll pay the money. But I don't know. We can all choose whatever we spend our money on, but yeah, I would love to have chickens. I just don't want to do the work yet because I'm not conditioned for it. I'm dependent. I'm dependent on all these things, and so it's so much easier just to go down to the store and buy the eggs.
Yeah.
I would love to want more. I want to be a farmer. I think that would be fantastic. I think it would be really satisfying and enjoyable, but I don't want to do the work. I'm not conditioned for it. I have not conditioned myself for it. I take full responsibility for that. I am not conditioned to live the life of a farmer. I am not conditioned to live an independent life. I would love to. In my mind, I think that would be fantastic. I think that would be the most satisfying and joyful experience, but I'm not conditioned for it.
Yeah.
It would be a challenge, a massive challenge.
And that's why the prices go up, because they know that. That's what Chuck is saying.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah. Absolutely.
The other story that was that came across my phone, and I was clicked on it, and I was reading about it, is Ford Motor Company is saying that very possibly, potentially in the near future, that if you own a Ford and you get stranded, you break down because you got a battery issue, they're going to send a drone out to wherever you are to jumpstart your car.
Cool. They're also, if you miss a payment,
the drone's going to come and pick the car up and
the
fly away with
car,
it?
who's a self-driving car, is going to drive itself.
Away?
It's going to drive itself back to the lot. They were talking about that. I saw that one a couple weeks ago.
Stop it.
I'm serious.
Stop.
Self-driving cars would impound themselves, repo themselves.
Are you horseshitting
I'm
me
not.
right
This
now?
is serious. I am as serious as a Mark Hamill Air Raid app.
There isn't such
May
a
the
thing.
force be with you.
There's not such a thing.
And it is actually Mark Hamill's voice in the car as the car is backing out of your driveway.
Attention.
It smashes through your
Air
garage
raid
door
alert.
and honks
Proceed
the
to the
horn. And then
nearest
Mark Hamill's
shelter.
voice goes,
Don't
"Hey,
be
you missed your
careless.
payments.
Your overconfidence is your weakness.
Your lack of payment is your weakness."
Attention. The air alert is over. May the force be with you.
May the bus stops be with you because you're not driving.
Wow.
Your car's been repoed.
That's crazy shit, man.
It's amazing. And all of this doesn't all right, so what all of this stuff does, everything we've talked about, and it's fun to get into it. I love this stuff. I love talking about this stuff. I don't care about any of it. I don't care about the outcome. I'm really taking Michael Singer. Michael Singer, you changed my life again. It was fantastic. When you introduced me to that last week, it's not really any new information, but the way he presents it is just so, I don't know, it just resonates with me so well. And so the last 2 weeks, I'm just really loving this idea. Don't care about the outcome.
Right.
And if I'm okay, I don't need anything out here. So everything that we've talked about today is as fun as we're making it, as animated, as emotional as we're getting into it, we're not attached to it. We're going to walk out of here and not a single one of these thoughts is going to plague us because we're just doing this for fun.
Yes.
We're just saying things,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Plug. All right. But we can attach to it in the moment because it's enjoyable to us.
Yes.
And then we let go of it because it's not necessary anymore.
Right.
And then we don't care about the outcome. And sure, all of these things that we talked about are creating an environment for us.
Yes.
But it's our choice what we do with that environment.
Right.
So we confront these things. War in Russia. People are dying.
Right.
Kids are getting shot in schools. All of this is real. It's
Right.
tragic.
And then we have Mark Hamill saying, "May the force be with you."
And the algae is gumming up the beaches in Florida. Seaweed. All over America.
5,000 miles wide.
That's a lot.
Where's Travis?
He's working.
God.
He's got to pay for the eggs. He's keeping America running.
Ask Travis, what's more important, working or coming on the air and talking about a 5,000-mile wide seaweed plop?
When that seaweed plop falls on us, that's going to be more
We're
important.
all going to suffocate.
See, nobody's paying attention to the seaweed plop.
suffocate.
Yeah. So we got to go. We got to get cardboard. We got to get some cardboard, tattered up cardboard, and some markers, big markers, and we got to write "The end is near." The seaweed is coming, and we got to stand out here on the corner.
The end is near.
And we got to bring attention to the people. The end is near. Here comes the seaweed. Let's talk about what are we? Oh no, I don't know. So the Michael Singer thing, I really like.
Michael
That's good.
Singer.
I just-
Let's
I
tell
feel more
Chuck.
joy in
Let's
my
tell
life.
Chuck right now.
Yeah.
If
All right.
Chuck has not, or anyone, Francine, anyone, if you haven't been on YouTube and watched Michael Singer, Singer, Your head's in
The
your
guy
ass.
who invented the sewing machine.
Your head's in your ass.
He didn't invent the sewing machine. Yeah, well, I wouldn't say that, but it's just you
I
haven't.
would.
You would. I wouldn't. Right. You haven't attended to it yet. That's what I'd say. But I guess it's the same meaning.
Head's in your ass.
Yeah, right. Like, that's why you haven't attended to it yet. But no, Michael A. Singer. If you take 20 minutes and listen to a video of him explaining this concept of if you are okay, you don't need anything outside of you. You're no longer a taker. You're a giver, and it's fantastic. And it changes your life when you start thinking about this stuff and you address every situation that comes up. Every time you get an emotional reaction, you think, "Am I okay? Do I need something to be okay, or am I okay already?" If you can be okay already, you're all right. So earlier you said something about swelling inside of you. I forget what it was now. Some emotion swelling inside of you or something like that. And you were trying to contain. I was the rage over Mark Hamill.
Yes.
So I've recently, after the Mark Singer stuff, I've been thinking about this. An emotion hits us. It comes to us, and we experience it. It's a frequency. It's an energy. It comes into us, and then it expands like a balloon.
Yeah.
And it expands and expands and expands, and it hurts as it's expanding.
Sure.
And then eventually it pops. It can only go so far, and then it pops.
Yeah.
And when it pops, we're free, and there's a relief. And so you're grieving, you're in pain, you're suffering, it's painful, it hurts, whatever, and then all of a sudden, pop, relief. Oh, okay.
Like a big pimple.
Like a kidney stone.
Kidney stone.
We talked about it last night on the podcast. Like,
Passing a stone.
When after the pain from a kidney stone is gone, the relief feels so good. Every emotion that comes into you is like that, good or bad, positive or negative emotions, happiness, sadness, whatever. But the emotion comes into you and it swells and it has to live.
Right.
And that it's going to live. And if you suppress it, if you try to contain it, it's going to prolong its life.
Right.
That emotion, whatever it is, the grief, the pain, the sickness, whatever, it's going to be there until it's done. It's
Right.
going to be there for as long as it needs to be there.
And then
because it's natural.
You're probably going to throw a vein.
You might if you try to resist it. You can't resist these things. You got to let it. You got to experience it. Someone dies. Be sad. Grieve it. And allow it to process. Don't try to contain it. Don't try to fight it.
Right.
Let it be there. Let it process. It's going to run its course. When it's done, it's going to leave you, and you're going to feel okay. You're going to have relief.
Right.
So every emotion is like that. It's a balloon swelling inside of you. You get
This is
angry. It's
absolutely
a balloon swelling
true.
inside you. Let it swell. Let it pop.
Sure.
And it'll be over with. But if you try to contain it, you're holding that balloon tight. You're keeping it controlled. It can't expand and pop.
Yes.
It can't because you're resisting it.
Right.
And so what happens? You're holding it, and then you shove it into a box so it can't expand.
Right.
And you keep it half inflated,
Right.
causing you pain. You keep it forever, and you stuff it in that box with a whole bunch of other ones.
Right.
And they can never grow. You got to let that box up. You got to grieve it. You got to process these things. Maybe take one out at a time, because if you let them all go at once now,
Right.
you collected them your whole life, maybe it might wipe you out, might kill you. So take them out one at a time. Get some help. Get somebody you trust to sit with you and process these things. Go through them. Experience it.
Right.
Let it be there. I'm not giving anybody mental health or any kind of advice right now, medical advice, none of that. I'm just speaking as a person.
Sure.
Just with ideas. I have no idea. But just if these thoughts mean anything, if they resonate with you in any way, look up Michael Singer. Look up Joe Dispenza. Read the 4 Agreements. Read the 5 Levels of Attachment.
Yeah.
Read Bessel van der Kolk, The Body Keeps the Score. Look at all this stuff.
We all need to learn. Listen.
I'm listening.
We have a lot of fun on Aired Out.
I do.
Raylene, you. I mean, we got a big announcement coming up on Monday that we're excited about. We have a lot of fun here. We give information out to the community. The biggest takeaway that I hope for, my goal with this, is to not only bring information, but to inject some humor and some entertainment into what we do. And I love I find it hysterical that there are so many people that can get their feathers ruffled and take me too seriously. That's hysterical to me. It's hysterical.
Mm-hmm.
It just is.
I think it's unfortunate.
Do you?
Yeah. Well, because we're doing it to ourselves. Whenever you get angry, you're doing it to yourself. You're creating yourself. There's an initial response. The body responds to things, but then we choose the story. Your body is physically going to respond to things. The way you've trained your body, it'll get upset or it'll be happy, whatever happens.
Sure.
The environmental stimulus comes to you, and sometimes things hurt. There are environmental stimulus that hurt, but you don't
Yes.
have to choose suffering. You can't stop the pain, but you can choose to suffer or not.
Right.
But so this is my theory. For whatever it's worth, maybe nothing. I don't care. I'm not attached to the outcome. But you feel the feeling in your body, and then
Right.
your mind jumps into it. And this happens split second. It happens faster than that when our bodies are trained to respond to certain things.
Right.
The point or the goal for me is to get in there, get in between when my body feels, my body starts the feeling, or my body reacts to
That's right.
the environment, and then my mind comes in. Before my mind makes that story, my authentic self, I want to get in there before the ego takes over. I want to get in there and say, I'm feeling this in my body,
Right.
but is this a good thing, a bad thing? Is this helpful? Is this harmful? What do I want to do about it?
Yeah.
And then create the emotional response.
Right.
So whatever. My car breaks down. I can freak out and get mad and smash something or whatever.
Sure.
Or and that's my body goes into anxiety mode. Well, I need that thing to get places. It's going to cost me a lot of money. And so my body immediately starts going into stress mode because my car broke down.
Right.
And I know what that, from past experience, I know what that could imply or could mean. But then I want my mind, before my mind takes over, my ego goes running with it and goes, oh, everything's over. I'm going to suffer. I don't have any money anymore, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I want to get in there and say, all right, what needs to be done? And then stop my body from running with it and say, all right, the battery died. What do I need to do? Go buy a new battery.
You need to call Ford so that they can...
the drone. I need the drone.
Fly the drone in.
Well, the last 2 Fords I had rusted out terribly after a few years. So.
Not now. Well, you're going to have a drone that'll come
to weld it for me?
They'll do some Bondo repairs right on the side of the road. Call the drone.
Ford, I'm leaving my garage door open for you tonight.
You hit the button on your steering wheel, and the drone comes, Paul. Stop worrying about everything.
I got to stop worrying about things.
Let the drone take care of it.
The drones will provide. Yeah. Man, you're brilliant.
I mean,
Thank you.
Everything you're saying, buddy. I mean, this is, seriously, it's fascinating.
I like it.
I mean, it's just, we have fun, but we can also be serious at the same time.
Right. We're enjoying life.
This Saturday, my God, tomorrow. Today's the final day of March. Tomorrow, April 1st, April Fool's Day. What are you going to do to Kathy?
Day. That is our day.
What are you doing to Kathy?
We are the fools. Nothing. I won't do anything.
You're not going to prank Kathy?
I don't prank people.
What?
Yeah,
what's the matter with you?
I haven't figured it out yet.
I have a...
Michael knows what's wrong with me. Michael will give you something. He's got some thoughts on what's wrong with me. I'm sure you ask him, he'll tell you.
Lily and I have saran wrap that's going to go around the toilet.
Oh, that's great.
With a giant
rubber
spider. Giant rubber black spider that's going to go on top of the saran wrap.
Okay.
And then we're going to close the toilet lid so that when Sherilyn comes down, first thing on Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Get out of my way. I got to pee. Get out of my way. When you got to pee, Paul, get out of the way. Mm-hmm. Dogs, cats, just clear.
Yeah, get out of the way.
And she's going to go right for the toilet. Lid's going to come up. Big ass spider right there. Yeah. It's not going to go well.
No.
That's just one of the things. So we're going to swap out the salt for the sugar too. That's another thing. Lily and I we're cooking. We're cooking up more ideas.
Isn't that's the food waste that Chuck was talking about? I think
I said swapping. I didn't say we're going to be throwing it in the trash. We're going to swap it back, Paul, on April 2nd.
Right, but when she goes to put the sugar in the coffee and it's salt, she's going to dump the coffee out, and then she's got to brew new coffee. She's going to put the sugar on the eggs, thinking it's salt.
Now we're wasting eggs.
Yeah.
But it's okay. We've got a couple of chickens.
That's true.
That we're brewing right now.
You're offsetting your carbon. Or whatever. You're offsetting your egg footprint.
They're growing up in the kitchen.
Perfect.
There's shit everywhere.
Yep, everywhere.
But
salmonella all over the kitchen.
Everywhere.
Perfect.
Everywhere.
Perfect. This is exactly what you want in a modern kitchen.
Saturday night is recycled percussion up at the Barry Auditorium. The 5th of April is the 14th annual Central Vermont Job Fair at the auditorium. That's from noon to 7. And they've still got space. The Central Vermont Job Fair. CVEDC says if you are an employer, you want to be part of it, get in touch with them. The Barry Rotary Pie Brunch is on the 8th. That's a Saturday. Nicole's going to come in and talk with us about it. We got the Hot Wing Contest over at the Billtown Roadhouse to benefit the Stephen Tracy organization on the 15th of April. It's going to be a great month.
A lot of stuff.
Then we have Bikers for Beth, of course, on May 21st. Paul's going to dust off the motorcycle, new oil, get it tuned up. He'll be there. The beard will be braided. He'll be ready to go. That's going to be fun. I can't wait to see your bike. It's going to be, I just cannot wait. Oh, my God.
So loud.
Oh, did you put the loud pipes on it?
I put the loud pipes on it.
Those custom pipes?
Oh, yeah. The glass
really?
windows break when I push the accelerator pedal all the way to the floor on my bike.
Did you get a new tattoo?
Yeah. On my whole back. Yeah.
Can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
Are you gonna have the leather? You gonna bring the leather?
I got the leather chaps and everything, but I got the
assless chaps.
No. I cover that part too. But my back, where my tattoo is, it's clear leather on the back of the back panel of
Sure.
of the vest is clear leather. It's a new
Okay.
invention
Oh.
they got. It's really cool, and so you can show off your tattoos.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
And the tattoos and all the hair that's on your back
Yeah.
also as well.
Right. And the tattoo artist is really great. They worked it all together. So
Yeah.
it's like a big it's a multimedia
Sure.
presentation.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
Raylene yesterday had some folks on from Washington County Mental Health, one of our sponsors, and they were talking about what's going on at WellSpace. And this, you need to see this. This
I'll
is,
see it.
I'm telling you, Wellness Wednesdays, which are starting April 5th and will run 6 weeks long with licensed and certified service providers. Pre-registration if you're going to get a massage or you're going to do sound healing, Reiki, any of that, by calling 229-1399. But be on the lookout. Be on the listen. It's all over our Facebook page. It's all over the air. We're talking about it so much. Mindfulness-based stress reduction, MBSR.
This is the way.
You familiar with this stuff?
No, just not that specific terminology,
Right.
but mindfulness.
This is
yes.
amazing stuff right here. We have the Easter egg hunts. There's a big one at the Faith Community Church that we're going to be talking about on Saturday, April 8th. You're going to be hearing a lot more about that. And, of course, the other big one on Saturday, April 8th at Rotary Park, sponsored by the City of Barrie and the Town of Barrie. That's going to be huge. Bring your own basket. I'll have all the information. Raylene's got it all over our Facebook page, but there's a ton of great stuff going on in our community. Thank you for being here, pal.
Thank you.
We'll do this again.
Very soon, Tuesday.
Maybe.
Maybe.
And maybe I'll come back on you. Tell us
Yeah.
about your podcast one more time. Where do we find it?
Spotify, I think, is the only place right now. Just Saying Things.
It's called
Name
Just
it.
Saying
Just
Things.
Saying Things. Travis is doing a Twitter page, JST Podcast.
Yeah.
So at JST Podcast. I don't know. I guess he links there, but it's
Mm-hmm.
it's just Saying Things is the name of it. It's on Spotify. You can look it up there.
Yeah.
And it's there's some. I don't use the cuss words myself, but
Okay.
people on the
I
podcast
do.
sometimes do that aren't me.
Yeah,
And
I do.
so just I don't know. I know a lot of people are sensitive to that. I'm not. Words are words. It's all about the intent, and there's no ill intent in any of the things that we're talking about.
Yeah, right.
We're just talking about ideas and theories and stuff like that. But I don't know. For some reason, I guess my upbringing sticks with me.
Yeah.
You can take the boy out of the Mormon church, but you can't take the Mormon church out of the boy.
Ooh.
Well, you do, but it takes time.
Ooh.
I'm working on it. I'm expelling that poison.
Wow. Yeah, it's in Travis. It was great to meet him last
Travis is
night.
awesome. Yeah.
He looks like he just fell out of prison.
A big prison.
know,
For big people.
But he's a great guy, though.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
a great guy.
Travis is awesome.
Yeah.
No. A lot of fun.
Let's get his
We had a
hairy
great
ass
time.
in here
All
sometime.
right, yeah. But also, so I wanted to talk about my sister and I doing music, and we an album that it's just out today. It's called Last Bit of Advice. That's on YouTube and Spotify and everything. But it didn't come up. It was on my list, but we didn't get to it. But we got to talk about. We could do like a listening party, or have her come in and we can play some songs sometime. But
Zuckerberg's going to shut us down. Copyright.
no, I own the copyright. I think when I distribute it, I put Facebook. I think Facebook's one of the options. I don't know how that works, but like it's available. Like there's like 18 different stores it's available on everything. But I
Yeah.
think TikTok, you can go on TikTok and probably drop it in as a background
Yeah.
track. But it's called Last Bit of Advice. That's the album
Okay.
title. That's the group name. It's just my sister and I. I do that. She wrote the songs. I do the music. She sings them.
Great.
It's awesome. These are the best songs. The best songs that are out available to listen to. These are them. There's one called my favorite one right now is What's Done Is Done.
Okay.
That one, it was the first. I think it was the first song she wrote in this set of songs some years ago. It's a great story. We gotta have her on to tell the story.
Let's have her on.
All right,
Set it up.
all right, I will.
All right. I got to go pee.
Watch out for spiders.
All right. Live from Fly on the Wall Productions, Main Street, Barrie. Thanks for joining us, everybody, on Facebook, YouTube, and everywhere else you stream. We'll catch you again real soon. And enjoy the weather on Saturday.
And everything.
And get ready to freeze your ass off on Sunday, backside of the weekend.
But I'll be making the best syrup ever.
Yes, you will. And whatever you do, Paul, if you're going to go outside, and the kids, even though it's 60 on Saturday and 30 for the high on Sunday, put a goddamn coat on. Stop running around with the T-shirt on. You're going to get sick, and then you're going to bring it to school, and you're going to get everybody sick.
I got to keep my back tattoo open for a little bit while it heals.